Hello, everyone. Today we're tackling the final two chapters of the earliest Gospels, Matthew 28 and Mark 16. These aren't just historical footnotes, they're the start of the entire Christian movement. They transition from the narrative of Jesus' life to the mission of his followers. We'll break down the three monumental themes found here: victory, mission, and power. So let's get started. The first and the most foundational theme is victory. This is the core event, the resurrection. In Matthew 28, it's early Sunday morning. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary go to the tomb. But suddenly there's a great and violent earthquake, and the angel of the Lord descends, rolls back the stone, and sits on it. The guards, well, they're terrified and they become like dead men. The angel's message to the women is clear and it's triumphant. He's not here. He's risen, just as he said he would. Mark 16 tells a similar story. Three women arrive with spices to prepare the body, and they're wondering who's going to roll away the stone. But when they arrive, it's already rolled back. And inside, they find a young man dressed in a white robe who delivers the same astounding news. He's risen. He's not here. The empty tomb is a historical declaration of God's victory over sin and death, and Jesus' claims to be the Son of God, to forgive sins, to have authority, are all validated in this moment. The story doesn't end in tragedy, it ends in triumph. The greatest fear, death, it has been defeated. This brings up Matthew 28:16 through 20 and Mark 16:15. Once the victory is proclaimed, Jesus shifts his focus to the future. The second theme is mission, specifically the Great Commission. Matthew 28:16 through 20 is probably the most famous articulation of this command. The 11 disciples meet Jesus on a mountain in Galilee. Jesus begins with the absolute claim of authority. All authority in heaven and earth has been given to me. Then comes the command, go therefore and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. This isn't a suggestion. It's a global directive to move, to teach, and to include everyone. Mark 16:15 gives the mission a more concise, urgent message. Go into all the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole creation. It's a message of good news for everyone, everywhere. The disciples' role changed from Jesus' students to being his agents. The scope of it is global, all nations, all the world. Their job isn't just to share information, but to make disciples, followers who will live and teach Jesus' way of life. The resurrection proves the power, and the commission applies the power to the world. In Matthew 28:18 through 20, and Mark 16:17 through 18, a third theme arises, and that's the promise of power that accompanies this massive mission. Jesus doesn't send his followers out alone and empty handed. He provides them with two specific forms of power: spiritual authority and his presence. In Mark 16, Jesus promises signs that will accompany those who believe: casting out of demons, speaking in new tongues, safely handling snakes, drinking deadly poison, and healing the sick. These are all dramatic attestations to the power of the Holy Spirit, confirming the truth of their message. But the most comforting and enduring power comes from the final verse in Matthew 28. After commanding his disciples to go to all nations, Jesus gives them the ultimate promise that underpins their success. And behold, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. So, what's the main point? Well, the mission is only possible because Jesus' presence delegates the authority. The power to make disciples comes from him. The promise of his consistent presence ensures that no matter how big the task or how far the journey, his followers are never alone, and neither are we. Matthew 28 and Mark 16 are two sides of the same coin. Victory over death makes the mission possible, and the promise of power makes the mission successful. We're called to live based on the truth of the empty tomb and act on the global command that he gave. So, how are you living out the Great Commission in your life today? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful in understanding the urgency of the message and the mission, please subscribe and like the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.